Hello, listeners, and welcome to episode 86 of the Nigeria Football Weekly podcast with me, your host, Olu OK. And boy, do we have another bumper episode for you. We know the season's rounding up, so we've got a few games to just touch on because the season has ended in a few of the leagues this past weekend. And either way, all of the football will be ending in terms of club football over the next 2 weeks. So without any further ado, I just want to start with a few Nigerian news for everyone's knowledge. So, as I said last week, Finidi George has been appointed as the new Nigeria national team manager, and I just wanted to touch on the objectives that have been set for him by the NFF. So, what must Finidi George achieve while he's on his one-year contract with the NFF? He must secure a 2025 AFCON slot, that goes without saying. While at the AFCON, he's been given the objective to make at least the semi-final, considering he made the final of the last AFCON earlier this year. I think that's reasonable. It will be played in Morocco in the summer, so I'm sure the Arab nations will be playing really well. But, I mean, if you have Osayi-Samuel and Boniface, let's not even go and talk about our midfield or our defense and Ekong and who's playing well, Ola. At the very least, the semi-final should be the minimum, so that makes sense. More importantly, Nigeria have to secure a 2026 World Cup ticket, and they've been given the task of reaching the quarterfinals of the World Cup. That one's a bit of an interesting one, but the next World Cup will have 48 teams, which means that there will be a round of 32. So if Nigeria make the quarterfinal, that means they will have to come through 2 knockout ties, which we're yet to do in our history. We've not even won a single knockout tie in the history of the World Cup. But I do like the objectives because looking at the squad on paper and how Nigeria should be performing, and there's going to be 9 African teams representing the continent. I'm sorry, Nigeria better be one of them. And that's why that's my most pressing concern, because the next 2 games for the Super Eagles will be the World Cup qualifiers against South Africa and Benin Republic in literally just over 2 weeks. So very, very exciting. What else have we learned so far? The camp will most likely be in Abuja. It looks like our home game, which will be against South Africa, will be happening in the Abuja Stadium, but that's one to monitor. It's going to be on the 7th of June at 8 p.m. So let's see how we get on in that one. As a result of that, we'd expect the official squad list to be released soon. I would guess at some point this week, at the very latest next week, and maybe Nigeria will surprise us and do a press conference to announce exactly what the decisions have been taken, or why the decisions have been taken, so to speak, in terms of the national team list. Also, mentioning the fact that we need to secure a 2026 World Cup ticket, I just wanted to quickly touch on the best Super Eagles documentary I've ever watched. If you have Amazon Prime, please go and watch Super Eagles 96. It's a documentary that talks about, obviously, the Super Eagles in general's greatest ever achievement, because in 1996 we won the Olympic football tournament, beating Brazil in the semi-final, Argentina in the final. And at that point, I don't believe there used to be under 23 restrictions, so everybody came with their best squads. We all know what that meant for Nigeria and the importance of the national team in terms of bringing harmony to the country. I think it just does a great job of a lot of things I lament about in terms of the NFF not doing a good job of capturing the importance of what the Super Eagles means to Nigeria, how it's the only thing that brings Nigeria together, no matter your tribe, no matter your religion, no matter your location. If the Super Eagles are playing, everybody will be happy. And this is very evident in the documentary, which was around the time when Abacha was still the president of the country and Ken Saro-Wiwa got executed unlawfully, bringing a lot of the wrath of the international world to Nigeria, including Nelson Mandela. I think it's a great, great documentary to show just the joy that football could bring to a nation. It also talks about the importance of Clemens Westerhoff. I think particularly for any younger listeners, to really understand what Clemens Westerhoff and Joe Bonfrey meant for the national team, I think it's an unbelievable one. Also, you even get to see things like Emmanuel Amunike's journey when he started in the national team. Emmanuel Amunike scored the winning goals in the 1994 Africa Cup of Nations, which was Nigeria's first AFCON win in 14 years, and first time we won it outside of Nigeria. He then scored the winning goal in the Olympic final against Argentina. I know everyone knows Emmanuel Amunike, and he's respected, but he's not revered in the way he should be based on these achievements. Yes, Okocha and Kanu get the credit, but when you watch the things that Emmanuel Amunike, Victor Ekpeba, and the other players, Finidi George, Rashidi Ekini, what they did in the 1994 World Cup, was my Daniel Amokachi, the bull. Nah, I really want everyone to watch it. I made my whole family watch it again, even my parents, just to show you the importance of this. So please, 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 I need you guys to watch this documentary, and hopefully it would give you a taste of what's to come and the kind of documentaries we need to do to preserve our history and to tell our own stories and the importance of this. If we want the diaspora to care, we want the average Nigerian to care about a national team beyond just an AFCON or a World Cup. These are the things we must do. We must show them why it's so important and bring back the love, as they say. So yeah, I just wanted to highlight that. Moving on to the main business of reporting on how our players performed in Europe. The Premier League season finally ended this weekend. Congratulations to Manchester City for winning their 4th title in a row and their 6th Premier League title in 7 years. Just an unbelievable job from Pep Guardiola. Commiserations to my boys Arsenal. We won our final game as well, but we finished second. 2 points behind Manchester City, but it's been another great season and the future looks hella bright. In terms of Nigerian players, Ola Aina and Taiwo Awoniyi, Nottingham Forest, rounded off their season with the 2-1 win over Burnley on Sunday. Ola Aina was not in the squad, and Tara when he came off the bench in the 79th minute after Chris Wood had scored both of the goals for Forest. I'm really intrigued to see how next season goes for Tara Woni if he's fully fit. And Ola Aina being in Nottingham Forest in a 1-year contract, he's one to look out for in the summer in terms of where he's going to end up next in the summer. But I think he'll remain in the Premier League. But I do believe he is better than Nottingham Forest. So let's see how that goes. Moving on to the Fulham boys. Alex Iwobi and Calvin Bassey both played 90 minutes for Fulham as they beat Luton 4-2. Final league position, 13th. Pretty impressive season by Marco Silva and his boys. Alex Iwobi and Bassey both played well at AFCON, despite what people who don't know football make you believe about Iwobi. So very promising season, and I hope that they could build on next year and maybe push towards a top 10 finish. As for Frank Oyeka, he was not in the squad for Brentford as they lost 4-2 to end the season. They finished 16th, so safe from relegation. That's 3 consecutive seasons now in the Premier League, and I'm sure they will consolidate, especially if they can keep Thomas Frank. But Frank Oyeka has had an okay season. I think he's had a much better season in terms of performances for Nigeria. We saw how instrumental he was at AFCON. So if Thomas Frank is not going to give him minutes, I'd like to see Onyeka go somewhere where he can. But from now, it looks like he's going to remain there for the foreseeable future. And then finally, the Luton boys got relegated, which we already knew was going to happen. Adebayo and Osho both started the game, and Yodima was on the bench as they lost that game to Fulham 4-2. As I said in previous pods, I'm intrigued to see what happens between Adebayo and Osho in the summer. So look out for that one. Other results to end the Premier League season. Liverpool said bye-bye to Jurgen Klopp with a 2-0 win over Wolves. Pretty good performance from them. Tottenham beat Sheffield United 3-0, which meant they finished 2 points behind Aston Villa. I mean, if only they took the game against Man City seriously, maybe they'll be in the Champions League. But, Tottenham don't necessarily have ambition. It's not a word that's associated with their club, so no real surprises there. Man United beat Brighton 2-0 away. Man City beat West Ham 3-1, which I already mentioned. Arsenal, we beat Everton 2-1. Crystal Palace thumped Aston Villa 5-0, but to be fair, Aston Villa didn't have anything to play for. In terms of Premier League storylines to look forward to next season, Oliver Glasner and Crystal Palace, especially if they somehow manage to keep hold of Eze, Olise, and Mateta. I mean, Mateta has turned into like prime Drogba in that 2010 season when he scored 29 Premier League goals or something crazy. It's just unbelievable. The guy scored 10 goals since the manager came in and they ended the season on 14 Premier League goals. Mateta, from where? Like, just unbelievable to see. And then Chelsea beat Bournemouth 2-1 with Moses Caicedo scoring one of the contenders for goal of the season. So, it's been another one for the books in terms of the Premier League. We go again as an Arsenal fan, but in general, I want to see more Nigerians in the Premier League. The good news is, let's see where Ndidi and Iheanacho fall next season. Maybe they'll be back in the Premier League. Maybe they'll choose to do opportunities that take them to other pastures. We shall see, and we will be there. Also, Joaribo Southampton booked their place in the Championship playoff final. He started the whole game as Southampton beat West Brom 3-1 in the second leg at St. Mary's. So shout out to Joaribo. And because we have no Nigerian players playing for Leeds United, I know who I'll be supporting to win that final on Sunday at Wembley. Speaking of Semi Ajayi and West Brom, Semi Ajayi was benched for that 3-1 loss, and Josh Maja was not in the squad. Commiserations to Semi Ajayi, and hopefully he gets a good rest, and we'll see him back next season. Moving on to Serie A, and Victor Osimhen was not in the squad. as Napoli failed to win yet again. I know, Jesus, is so boring now. They drew 2-2 away against Fiorentina. Osimhen is out injured. Let's see if he'll be fit for our qualifiers because we need Osimhen desperately, man. I'm not even going to lie to you. Let's see if he even gets back to play the final game against Lecce at home on Sunday because it really feels like it will be his last game for Napoli. So we do want him to have a chance to say bye-bye in the right and proper way. Samuel Chukwueze, on the other hand, also missed Milan's 3-1 loss to Torino on Saturday with a thigh injury. He's also out until early June, but all indications suggest that he should be in the Nigeria squad, which you see him play in the World Cup qualifiers. AC Milan round up their season on Sunday at home to already relegated Salernitana. Moving on to Atalanta and Ademola Lookman. He played 90 minutes last week Wednesday as they unfortunately lost 1-0 to Juventus in the Coppa Italia final. Good effort from Atalanta, but finals could be very, very interesting in this way. Once the team goes 1-0 up, it's kind of a wrap. In terms of the league, he was on the bench for their 2-0 win over Lecce on Saturday, but we know why. They've got a big, big game coming up in 2 days. On Wednesday, they will be playing in their first ever European final, which is the Europa League final against the mighty Bayer Leverkusen, who I'll be touching on in a bit. Also, congratulations to Atalanta. They have now qualified for the Champions League, so we will be seeing Lookman back in the big boy competition. After the Europa League final on Wednesday, they end the season against Torino at home, but they have nothing to play for because they've already done their job. Moving on to Maduka Okoye and Isaac's successors, Udinese. Okoye started the game and Isaac Success played 7 minutes, but he was unfortunately taken off due to injury as Udinese drew 1-1 against Empoli on Sunday. They are currently out of the relegation zone, but it's very, very precarious. They are only safe by 1 point. So in their final game against Frosinone, who are 1 point ahead of them, they will need to win or draw or pray for favorable results to keep Udinese in Serie A. For this reason, I mean, it's a no-brainer. I hope Udinese do it. For you to have a Nigeria goalkeeper starting in the top 5 leagues, especially the Serie A, is something to be very, very happy and joyous about. So we wish Maduka Okoye all the best for that final game. David Okeke, on the other hand, was benched in Torino's 3-1 win over AC Milan. So nothing to really report there. And then also the Salernitana boys, Nwankwo and Chibuike Ekwemesi, did not play as Salernitana lost 2-1 at home to Verona earlier today. Let's see if they get any minutes when they face AC Milan away on Sunday to round up their league season. Moving on to the Bundesliga, Victor Boniface started the game and scored a goal. To be fair, it was a goalkeeping error, but good job by Boniface's teammate. He intercepted the goalkeeper's pass, squared it straight to Boniface to put it into an empty net. Van Tella did not play in this game, but Bayer Leverkusen beat Augsburg 2-1 on Saturday to officially become the first ever German team to go through an entire league season unbeaten. So shout out to Bayer Leverkusen. For them to do this in the first time they've ever won the Bundesliga is just an unbelievable achievement. And it gets better. They're yet to lose a game in any competition, which means that they will be in the Europa League final this Wednesday against Ademola Lookman's Atalanta. You have to say that Bayer Leverkusen are the slight favourites based on the evidence we've seen so far. But Atalanta are a roaring machine, so do not underestimate them. And then also on Saturday, Bayer Leverkusen will get the chance to either complete a double or a treble, depending on how things go on Wednesday, when they play Kaiserslautern on Saturday in the DFB Pokal final. Mind you, Kaiserslautern are 13th in the second division. I don't even know how they made it to the final, but shout out to them, man. Look, let's not even lie. Leverkusen are going to wipe the floor with them. So shout out to the boys. Let's see how Boniface and Tella perform in these final 2 games of their league season. Kevin Akpoguma, on the other hand, played 90 minutes. It looks like he's won his place back for Hoffenheim as they beat Bayern Munich 4-2 on Saturday to secure European football, finishing the season in 7th place. What that means is they should be playing in the UEFA Conference League next season. So yeah, shout out to them. They will play in the qualifier, but they should make it. So great effort by Hoffenheim. In La Liga, Omar Sadiq was benched as Real Sociedad defeated Valencia 1-0 on Thursday. And then he was also benched as Sociedad defeated Real Betis 2-0 on Sunday. So he's not playing any games, to be honest. Although Sociedad is 6th and will probably play in the Europa League next season. Next up for them, they play Atletico Madrid at home on Saturday. And then finally in the top 5 leagues, in League 1, Terramofi played 68 minutes for Nice as they lost 2-1 to PSG on Wednesday. He also played 26 minutes off the bench in their 2-2 draw against Lille on Sunday. So they end the season 5th, which means that they should play in the Europa League next season. As for Lyon, they completed a remarkable comeback by winning 2-1. Gift Urban did not play any minutes, but they beat Strasbourg on Sunday. In December, Lyon were bottom of the French league. Yeah, bottom, literally rock bottom. So for them to end the season 6th and in Europe is an unbelievable achievement. Also, Lacazette with 19 goals in League 1, man. He just keeps bagging. So funny watching Aubameyang and Lacazette do what they need to do in League 1. And I used to love them, so it's all love over here. Akko Adams played 79 minutes. Montpellier drew 2-2 against Lens on Sunday. Their final league position is 12th. And although Innocent Bonke is injured for Lorient, I just wanted to call out the Lorient have officially been relegated from League 1. So commiserations to the guys. So that's it in terms of the top 5 leagues of Europe. Moving on to the final leagues outside the top 5 in Europe, starting with the Premier League as usual. It was the final round of fixtures in Portugal, and Boavista are officially safe. They finished 15th. Onyemachi played 69 minutes, and Awaziem came off the bench and played 21 minutes as they drew 2-2 against Vizela on Saturday. So shout out to them for remaining in the division. As for Kelechi Nwakali, he was not in Chavez's squad as they lost 3-0 to Sporting to confirm their relegation. It's been a shit show of a season, and I told you what happened last week in terms of his behavior on the bench. So we'll see what happens with Nwakali, but he's definitely played his last game for Chavez. Moving on to Belgium, and good news continues to flow for Rafael Yedika and Club Brugge. He started the game as they beat Anderlecht 1-0 on Sunday. Great performance from the team. What this means is they've got a final game this Sunday against Club Brugge, and they are 3 points ahead of second place Union Saint-Gilloise. So all they need is a draw, and they will win the league, and they will return to the Champions League. So shout out to Rafael Yedika and Club Brugge for how well they've played this season. Moving on to Royal Antwerp, and Chidorai Juke was not in the squad while Alassane Yusuf started and Victor Udo came off the bench earlier today as they lost 1-0 to Genk away. They will be ending their season against Anderlecht at home on Sunday, but they're pretty much confirmed to finish 6th within the mini-league for the championship round. Speaking of Genk, Tolura Kodari played in that 1-0 win over Royal Antwerp. They are 5th in the league, so it's unlikely they have nothing to play for in terms of the champions winning the league. It's just looking at what positions they could get for Europe, and you need to be top 3 in the Belgian league. So it's very unlikely that Genk will play in Europe next season. But Arokodari continues to play well, and let's see if they could end their season well away to Union Saint-Gilloise on Sunday. Fun fact for anyone who did not know, Union Saint-Gilloise is also owned by Brighton's owner, Tony Bloom. So that's why if you look properly, you notice that they always sign very, very clever. They make clever signings, very, very good players, and they're all about the analytics and money ball. So shout out to them. And then finally in Belgium, Jordan Torunariga played 90 minutes as Ghent beat Standard Liège 4-1 on Saturday. They finished their season against St. Truden at home this Saturday, and that will give them a place in the Conference League playoffs. In Greece, Ekong is back in full training but was not in the squad for either of PAOK's final 2 games. However, they won both of them, which means that they have officially won the Greek League. Congratulations, William Ekong. What a year he's had, even though he's been injured. You know, best player AFCON, second in AFCON, and now the league winner with the Greek champions. So just an unbelievable season for him, and long may the success continue. Hopefully, let's see if he could be fit to play in the World Cup qualifiers. Moving on to Turkey, and Bright Osayi-Samuel played 90 minutes and got a yellow card in Fenerbahce's epic 1-0 win away to Galatasaray. It's just a shame because these two teams have run away with the league in Turkey. I think they have 96 and 93 points, respectively, with 1 game to go. This win means that Fenerbahce are 3 points behind Galatasaray with 1 game to go. So they need a miracle from Konyaspor, who hosts Galatasaray this Sunday, while Bright Osayi-Samuel and Fenerbahce will play Istanbulspor at home on Sunday with a chance to win the league. As for Polonaraciu's Trabzonspor, they are locked to finish 3rd. He played 70 minutes as they beat Istanbul Basaksehir on Saturday. He's got another big game on Thursday. He will be playing Besiktas in the Turkish Cup final. And to be fair, Trabzonspor should win this game. They're the better team compared to Besiktas for this season. And then they end that season against Ankara Gugu at home on Sunday. Moving on to Fisari Dele Bashiru, Hatayspor are in danger of getting relegated. He played 90 minutes and scored a goal in their 2-2 draw against Besiktas on Saturday. However, they play Rizespor at home on Sunday and they must win. And also, they need help from Polonwachu and Trabzonspor, who need to beat Ankara Gugu so that Hatayspor could move up to 16th and be safe from relegation. Finally, Kashing Pasa's Kenneth Amero played the final 7 minutes in their 1-1 draw, 0-0 draw against Rizespor on Saturday, and they end their season against Besiktas. In the Scottish League, Cyril Dessers played 82 minutes and scored a goal in Rangers' 5-2 win over Dundee on Tuesday, and on Saturday he got an assist while starting in Rangers' 3-3 draw against Hearts, while Leon Balogun is nursing a muscle injury, so he did not take any part in either of those games. To end the season, Rangers will play Celtic on Sunday in the Scottish Cup final. It's their final chance for some silverware after losing the title to Celtic. So they'll be keen to get some revenge in that game, and hopefully Dessers can power them through to that one. In the PSL in South Africa, Stanley Nwabali, Chippa United, he played 90 minutes and made 3 saves in a 0-0 draw against Royal AM on Saturday. And they end their season against Sekuhune United at home on Saturday. As for Oli Saranda, he was back in the starting lineup as Orlando Pirates beat TS Galaxy 1-0 on Saturday. Their next game is against Supersport United this coming Saturday. And in Czech Republic, we saw Igor Ugbo play 90 minutes as Slavia Prague beat Victoria Pilsen on Wednesday. And on Saturday, he also started as Slavia Prague beat Slovako 2-1 on Saturday in the penultimate game of the season. They end their season against Mlada Boleslav on Sunday. And in better news for Victor Latinji Sparta Prague, they are on the brink of winning the league. He played 13 minutes in their 2-1 win over Banik Ostrava on Tuesday. This Wednesday, he will play against Victoria Pilsen in the Czech Cup final, and then they will play that same opposition on Sunday in their final league game of the season. So, Starboy of the Week. Shout out to Ekong for winning the Greek League, even though he did not play. Shout out to Nathan Tella. He's a big part of everything happening in Bundesliga. Champions by Leverkusen. Shout out to Bright Osayi-Samuel. Fenerbahce, Galatasaray, Besiktas, those are the big 3 in Turkey. So anytime they play each other, it's a momentous occasion. And for Fenerbahce to go to Galatasaray Stadium and beat them 1-0, even though Galatasaray have the lead in the league, it's a monumental achievement. But my Starboy of the Week is Victor Boniface. It has to be. Victor Boniface scored a goal yet again as Bayer Leverkusen beat Olberg. It means that for his first season in the Bundesliga, in all competitions, he scored 21 goals and got 10 assists. That's 31 goal contributions in just 33 games. We're looking at a superstar right here, man. Like, you're looking at greatness right here, guys. When you look at the league, he scored 14 goals and got 9 assists. 23 goals and assists in just 23 games. 1,555 minutes. It's basically the equivalent of playing 17 full 90-minute games in the Bundesliga. 17. And he got 23 GAs. Nah, shout out to Victor, man. You rock my world, boy. Unbelievable. And then to win the league unbeaten on top of that in your first season. He was voted the Rookie of the Season after winning the award 4 times in terms of the monthly award. He is just destined for bigger and better things. And it's already starting with Bayer Leverkusen. As I said, he's got the chance to win a treble or a double. And I'm sure I think he'll win the treble. It's the 3rd league win of his career. He won 2 with Bodo Glimt in Norway in 2020 and 2021. So basically, Boniface and winning are in sync. Man, he's a victor indeed. Good. Anyway, he can yet still show himself in the Europa League final on Wednesday. He's got 5 goals and 1 assist in 7 games in that competition as well. Amazing contribution, and he was the top goal scorer in the Europa League last season. It's just nuts. He's basically got a minutes per goal ratio of 67 minutes. And then also, when he plays the DFB Pokal final on Saturday, he's got 2 goals in 3 appearances and can also make a contribution in that tournament as well. So safe to say he's taken Germany by storm. He even had the Real Madrid players doing a celebration in their own title parade. It's just Victor Boniface's world, and we're all just here to witness. So shout out to Victor Boniface, my Starboy of the Week. To round up the podcast, the ones to watch for the week, we got the Europa League final on Wednesday. Big game, guys. Boniface and Tella versus Ademola Lookman's Atalanta. I think Bayer Leverkusen win it, but Gasperini and Atalanta are made of sterner stuff, so this one could go all the way. Also on Thursday, We will see Polonwachu have the chance to win the Turkish Cup final for Trabzonspor as they play Besiktas on Thursday. So that's another opportunity to win a league title. Also, we will see on Saturday, Boniface and Tella will then have the opportunity to win the DFB Pokal when they play Kaiserslautern on that Saturday. Chance to make history. Also on Sunday, we will see Jaribo Southampton play Leeds in the Championship playoff final with it's dubbed the £100 million game because the winner gets to go to the Premier League. And we know what the riches of the Premier League look like, don't we? Rafael Edika, final league game of the season also on Sunday. He's got the chance to win the league and secure Champions League qualification for Club Brugge. He's been absolutely exceptional in the final run of the season for Club Brugge. I will not be surprised if he's even voted player of the season. So look out for that one. Also, Cyril Dessers and Leon Balogun have a chance to win a Scottish Cup title against Celtic on Sunday. It's been a good season for Cyril Dessers. He's got 22 goals this season. And obviously a chance to silverware is always welcome. Also, Bright Osayi-Samuel will have the chance to win the Turkish league, even though it's very unlikely on Sunday. But we will be rooting for Fenerbahce, and let's see how they will go. And then finally, Victor Osimhen plays Lecce on Sunday. If he's fit, it will be his last game for Napoli. If not, it's likely he's already played his final game for Napoli, so one to watch for the season. And then finally, Maduka Okoye has the chance to keep Udinese in Serie A. He will start against Frosinone on Sunday, who are also in danger of getting relegated. So let's see if Maduka Okoye and the Udinese boys can pull it out of the bag on Sunday. So that's it for this episode of the podcast. Thanks again for rocking with me. It's been an absolutely unbelievable season, and our Nigerian players continue to soar and shine all over Europe and also in South Africa and some of the other leagues on the continent. It's been a pleasure. Remember, we are at NFWPOD on Twitter, and we are Nigeria Football Weekly on every other social media platform, including YouTube. Thanks again for listening to this episode of the podcast. And in the next episode, I'll be doing an end of season review in terms of awards and what are the key things that have happened involving Nigerian players over this 2023-2024 season. Take care, peace out, and enjoy all the football coming over the coming week. And if we see the Nigeria squad for the World Cup qualifiers, that would also be a pleasant surprise. Take care, guys, and until next time, peace out. Thanks for watching this video. Please like, share, subscribe, and click the bell to get a notification whenever we drop a video. You can also find our social media channels listed below. And of course, up Super Eagles and Nigeriano they ever carry last.